everyone, welcome back to another episode of Harness the Power. In this episode, we're going to be talking more about reports that are available inside of PowerSchool Assessment. So to get in and see reports, remember you can click on Reporting and go to Assessment Results, or you can click on the purple View Assessment Results. Both will lead you right to the same place. All right, what we'll need to do next is we need to select what subject area and grade level we're working with, as well as what exam we want to take a look at the results of. So I'm going to look at the pretest math example there. Okay. Next thing, to find these two reports that I'm going to feature in this episode, you have to come over, and this is the tricky part. It was hard to find. I'm being honest. It tended to hide, and I couldn't get things to appear, and the PowerSchool help page showed me it was supposed to be there, and then it wasn't until I clicked on something in particular. So this is the handy dandy little trick to make these two reports appear for you. You have to come over and click on the teacher name on the left hand side menu, and then click on the class. Once you do that, this box of reports will appear. The first one we're going to talk about is the individual mastery report. And so if you click on it, it'll open up and show you individually how your students have done as far as mastering standards. So this is my first student. You'll notice there's 11 pages of reports. That's for my 11 students that have taken this test. And I can flip through and see what students have passed. There we go. There's one that has some mastery. So here's my student, and they have in fact mastered these two standards. They haven't yet mastered this standard because there's their score. This can be a very handy report if you're talking about looking individually at a student. If you want to take a look at, maybe it's something to do with RTI or interventions, or it could be even for evaluations or during accommodations meetings. So this can be some very helpful information individually on the student. The other report I want to highlight for you is the class mastery report. This is a gold nugget right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it and launch it up. The class mastery report is amazing. Here's why. It breaks it down by standard, and then it lists your students in alphabetical order underneath each one of the standards. So for Math 5, Number Sense 1, the first standard, I have 2 students that have currently mastered, but I also have an average of how they did and how many points out of how many possible points for each of the standards each of my students got. So for instance, Bronson here didn't get any out of the 3 right, so he's got a 0%, versus the Jacob on this line, he got 2 out of 3, so he's got a 66.67%, and Tyler got 3 out of 3, so he has 100% for the Number Sense 1 standard for Math 5. Okay, really handy report. Reason being, I take it and then go ahead and put in my standard scores into the standards reporting for the assessment in PowerTeacher Pro. So I can grab this report and then jump over into PowerTeacher Pro, and on each one of the standard columns, I can just run through the scores. Awesome. Absolutely fantastic. And this page that I have here is 2 full pages long because it reports on Number Sense 1, Number Sense 2. So again, the class mastery report is fantastic to be able to take this and then go over and report on standards right over into your PowerTeacher Pro gradebook. Both of these reports, in fact, are pretty helpful, I would think, one from an individual standpoint and the other from the teacher standpoint, being able to take those and very quickly report on standards over in your gradebook. I hope this video was helpful. We have made it to what will be the final episode of this virtual training. I love that you've stayed with me this far, and I appreciate your time. I hope that you've learned some helpful little bits along the way, and that your journey with PowerSchool Assessment will be much easier now that you've seen all of these different tips and tricks and tools of the trade. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for participating in this virtual training. I'll see you all in the next Harness the Power episode. Bye-bye.